Hey everybody, welcome back to Why Am I Yelling? I'm Krista Rizzo. Um, we are talking about truth. We are on the Truth series. This is episode 3, and we're talking about fear. I think it's really important to have this conversation, especially before I start inviting guests into this conversation, which is going to happen in February. So be on the lookout for that. But until then, we have this week and next week, and we're going to really be talking about the different components of truth, how you find your truth, how you go through truth, and how you can work through some difficulty to get to your truth. So today I want to talk about fear, right? Big day yesterday, and I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that. There are so many people who are breathing a sigh of relief right now. And there are so many people who are not. And I think that right now we all kind of have to take a collective step back and evaluate the things that are important to us. And I do this with my clients all the time. I do it when I'm telling them to, or to working with a life transformation, while the relationship transformation, a career change. It all starts with you. And so my first coaching advice to anybody who is looking to create change, which is, I think, something that we're all trying to do collectively right now, is to take a step back and look at who you are and really look at how you want your world to look. What do you like? What are you passionate about? What do you care about? What are the issues that are of importance to you? And how are you willing to make changes, sometimes sacrifices, sometimes contributions, in order to make that happen? I think fear plays a part of that, right? I have the blessing and the privilege to talk to a lot of people from different backgrounds on a regular basis. And for me, it's always a learning opportunity. I always think about, the people that I talk to, my clients, friends, people that I just meet in general in random places, which hasn't happened in a while because I haven't been anywhere random lately. But, I think that when you're just having a conversation with somebody, you're learning. And we've all learned a lot over the last year, right? It's going to be a year that we've all been affected by COVID, and we've all had to make some really big decisions in our lives, and we've all been affected by it in different ways. So fear, I think, is something that just naturally comes up for us when we are feeling overwhelmed, when we are feeling stressed out, when we're feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm about to hit a wall. And I don't know how to overcome this feeling of fear and all the other things that come with it. And I think that when you are on a journey to explore your truth, or a truth in a specific situation or at a specific time, fear is one of the elements that is going to show up naturally. And so how do we address that and turn it into something productive, right? How do we look at that fear and acknowledge it and then act on it? I like to call it AVA, right? Acknowledge, validate, and act. And I think that when you have those 3 components in any decision that you're making, whether it is fear-based, faith-based, education-based, status-based, or data-driven, there's always feelings that come up. There are always emotions that come up. There are always things that come up for you that could be unexpected. And when you look at them individually, each emotion, each feeling, and you then take a collective look at it overall, you have a better sense of how you can respond to those feelings, how you can take action to those feelings. And so a lot of people right now are afraid, right? We're afraid of our health. We're afraid for losing our jobs. There are people out there who are afraid of a lot of different things that are happening out there in the world. There's a virus, there's politics, there's, social and racial injustice happening. There's all kinds of things going on. And that's on top of the stuff that's happening in your personal life, just for regular everyday stuff, right? So we've all got our stuff, and then everything else is being magnified. And so when I think about this, I think about, conversations that I've been having in the last, several weeks and several months, about, people not knowing what is going to come out of this, right? There's a lot of fear based in results because we don't know what to expect, right? We don't know what to expect out of a relationship. We don't know what to expect out of a situation. We don't know what to expect out of a global pandemic. And so there's naturally just some fear that builds up for all of us, right? In different ways, for different reasons, but it happens. So I think that, looking at that emotion and that feeling individually and sitting in it for a minute can be very helpful. And then making a plan of action to work through that fear. And that plan of action can include a number of things. Sometimes we have to forgive to get over that fear. Sometimes we have to partner and listen and communicate better to get through that fear. Sometimes we have to take stock in what we need personally, right? And prioritize ourselves for the first time in a long time, or ever for some of us, to get through that fear. Sometimes we have to lean on others, our support system, our friends, our family, our life partners, our children sometimes, to get through that fear by asking for help. These are all different ways that you can deal with it. And so when you are on a search for your truth and fear pops up during that time, this is a really good way to move through it so you can understand it better. And really for any emotion that comes up for you, right? So acknowledge that you're feeling this way and acknowledge what is making you feel this way, whether it is a relationship or this global pandemic or the politics situation that's happening right now, right? There could be a number of any of these things or all of them. Acknowledge it and then validate that you're actually having that feeling. I'm afraid. I'm afraid because of X, Y, and Z. And I highly encourage you to write it down, because when we write things down, it actually becomes solid for us, right? We can talk about it all day long, but when you actually write it down, I'm a journaler, and I think that writing things down is super important. So write down how you feel, write down your feelings, write down why you're afraid, write down why you're sad, whatever the emotion is, right? Last week we talked about accountability in truth. And when you are feeling fear and you're trying to come to a resolution to something, writing down these feelings is important. And then acting on it. What do you think the best way to act on it to get the result you want is, right? So you're acknowledging it, you're validating those feelings, and then you're thinking about what you need to get to where you want to be. So write it all down, every single thing, right? Write down, I'm afraid of this, but and now you're going to analyze it and you're going to say, okay, I need X, Y, and Z in order to face that fear, right? I need to find the confidence, and who's going to help me with that confidence? That might be reaching out to my support system. I need to find a resource. How am I going to find that resource, right? I'm going to ask for help. There's all kinds of ways to do that. And so always remember these three things: acknowledge, validate, and act. Those are the three things you need to get through just about anything when you are moving through the next phase into something new. That's how you get through fear when you are in the middle of making a big transformation or a life change or whatever it is to working on the truth. Next week, we're going to talk about something different, but always with the truth on the background. And then the following week, we have our very first guest, who I'm super excited about, and I cannot wait to introduce you to him. So I hope you got something out of this today. It's a brand new day, the sun is shining, and we are looking forward to a lot of really great things happening for all of us in this new year. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye.